Good evening. Every country has moments where it stops talking about intent and starts preparing for consequences. India is one of those moments right now. Wars today aren't decided only at borders. They're actually decided by drones you never see, decisions made in seconds, and whether your systems work when supply chains don't. And when India has stepped into these hard, uncomfortable bets in defense, infrastructure, energy, or now AI, one group keeps turning ambition into execution: Adani. And this time, the scale tells you everything you need to know. The Adani Group is preparing a 1.8 lakh crore rupees investment into India's defense ecosystem, not just as a signal, but more importantly, as a build out. It directly targets the three areas that define modern warfare and sovereign power: unmanned and autonomous combat systems across air, sea, and land, advanced guided weapons and loitering munitions, and AI enabled multi domain warfare systems. And alongside something India desperately needed for decades: massive domestic MRO and training ecosystems that finally break our dependence on foreign suppliers to keep our military battle ready. So, what's being built here is end to end capability, from design to deployment, without waiting on anyone else. If there was ever a moment where Atmanirbhar Bharat moved from slogan to reality, this, ladies and gentlemen, is it. 2025 was the turning point for Adani Defense. They moved from extended planning cycles to actual battlefield deployment, including participation in Operation Sindoor. And the results were palpable. Drishti 10 UAVs inducted into the Indian Navy and Army for long endurance ISR. Counter drone systems cleared tri-service trials. Agnika loitering musicians demonstrated electronic warfare resistance. Arka manpads reached tri-service deployment readiness. Entry into positioning Adani as the only private player in one of the most sophisticated defense capabilities India needs. The 1.8 lakh crore rupees deployment now accelerates everything: unmanned and autonomous warfare across air, sea, and land, UAVs for endurance surveillance, reconnaissance, and communication relay, unmanned marine platforms for maritime surveillance, anti submarine operations, and mine countermeasures, unmanned ground vehicles for logistics, explosive ordnance disposal, and perimeter defense. Fewer, basically humans' lives are at risk. There is a greater reach and a faster response. Precision and guided weapons. India's future wars will depend on accuracy, endurance, and survivability under electronic warfare. That's where Adani is doubling down, which is guided weapons, loitering munitions, electronic warfare, resilient strike systems. This shifts India from being dependent on imports to controlling precision power internally. Modern warfare is about speed of intelligence and speed of decision making. Adani is building AI driven battlefield awareness, multi domain coordination between air, sea, and land, faster targeting and execution cycles, lower reaction time window. So, let's be clear that this isn't AI making battlefield calls. It's actually AI helping commanders see faster, decide sooner, and act with fewer blind spots. For decades, India's defense readiness depended on foreign maintenance, foreign spare parts, foreign turnaround cycles. So, what Adani has done is stitched together something very powerful: Airworks, Indema, FSTC, which also stands for Flight Simulation Technique Center, which means together they create one of India's largest defense civil MRO and training ecosystems. The shorter repair cycles will kick in, higher aircraft availability will be there, stronger pilot and engineering training, faster readiness during conflict. Because, well, in a real conflict, the most advanced aircraft is pretty much useless if it's still waiting for spare parts to clear customs. And this is crucial to win wars. Parallelly, the Adani Group is executing another national scale project: building the physical foundations that AI actually runs on: power, compute, and data centers inside India. Over 1 gigawatt of AI data centers across Vizag, Navi Mumbai, Noida, and Hyderabad, backed by massive renewable energy and evaluating nuclear power to future proof compute energy. We, of course, have covered this extensively on Front Page during the Shanti Bill episode, the bill that finally opened nuclear participation to private players in India. Remember that one? So, well, why does this matter? Because Gautam Adani said this: a nation of 1.4 billion cannot place its jobs, data, culture, and collective intelligence at the mercy of foreign algorithms. This is clearly a strategic posture. If AI is the next competitive battlefield, then compute is firepower, energy is ammunition, infrastructure is sovereignty. And Adani is building all three. What India is constructing here is layered power. Let's start with defense sovereignty. What that means is manufacture, deploy, maintain, upgrade, sustain, all done here in India. Now, let's come to AI sovereignty. Build the compute spine in India, own the infrastructure, control the intelligence layer, and then comes, of course, the energy sovereignty, which is renewables plus potentially nuclear base load, power certainty for national security. We, of course, are very elated to say that this is definitely Atmanirbhar Bharat, which no longer is just a slogan, but an emphatic call addressing state capacity. And now, of course, to what changes? Autonomous warfare scales across domains. Precision strike multiplies. AI-enabled decision ecosystems strengthen. MRO becomes a national strategic asset. AI data center infrastructure accelerates. Nuclear readiness may power, actually, India's compute future. And of course, collectively, it answers one very critical question, which is, does India want to rent its security? Does India want to outsource its intelligence? Does India want to import its future? The answer tonight feels very, very clear. India wants to build it right here at home. And this push toward sovereign capability is aligning with a larger national shift already underway. The Indian Army recently confirmed 91% of indigenization of ammunition, successfully domesticating 159 out of 175 ammunition variants. This means India can now sustain prolonged high intensity conflict without depending on foreign supply chains, a vulnerability the world has very repeatedly witnessed during geopolitical crises. When supported by munitions, India Limited, and private players like Solar Industries, India is now producing everything from smart precision munitions to combat grade heavy artillery shells, while even securing long delayed transfer of technology for critical ammunitions like APF SDS anti tank rounds. So, in short, while Adani builds the platforms, guidance systems, AI command layers, and MRO stronghold, India's ammunition ecosystem has sensibly become battle ready at home. And of course, tonight, there's another massive signal that this is not just corporate enthusiasm. The government of India is backing this militarization of capability at scale. The Defence Acquisition Council clearing 80,000 crore rupees worth of procurement is actually not an abstract policy move. It's actually an incredible list with timelines, and here they are. Radars and electronic warfare systems at BEL, combat aviation programs at HAL, simulation and training platforms at Zen Technologies, and of course, a wider domestic supplier base that now knows demand is real. And when we consider this alongside Adani's 1.8 lakh crore rupees manufacturing push, something important clicks into place. The government is placing orders, industry is building capacity, and the armed forces are shaping requirements around systems that can be built, serviced, and upgraded right here at home. And of course, for the first time in decades, India's defense story is starting to look less like dependency management and more like industrial depth. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Front Page by AIM Network, and we are very proud to say that building national capabilities looks exactly like this when policy, capital, and execution move in the same direction. This is Front Page by AIM Network. Like, share, subscribe, and always remember, think AI, think India, think AIM.